Greetings all and welcome to Esoteric Babble. Today we will be discussing card 17 from the Major Arcana of the Tarot, the Star. So one thing to keep in mind is that one way to understand the Major Arcana of the Tarot is that they represent pictorially stages in the development of the self, starting with the Fool, the Magician, and moving up through to the World. And that is a very interesting way to understand them. However, when we encounter a card from the Major Arcana or any card from the Tarot in a spread, we're basically trying to understand how that card relates to our present circumstances, how it relates to the question we have in mind. And that's the spirit in which we are going to investigate this card today. So just a couple of key words about this card: luminous nature, confidence, positivity, inspiration, balance. Now, if we look at the card, we'll see it's a naked woman kneeling at the side of a pool, pouring out 2 pitchers of water, one of which is going straight into the pool, one of which is going onto the ground, and there are 5 rivulets coming out from that stream, one of which is going into the pool of water as well. Above the woman, there is this really bright star surrounded by 7 other smaller stars. So when we think about the naked woman, what we're talking about is the essential person, a person stripped of all clothing, and this is the bare, unadorned self, the essential truth. And what this truth is told to us in this card above. The truth of a person is luminous nature. Now, something that isn't always appreciated in this card is that there is this theme of balance. We can see the upper part here is balanced against the lower part, and the lower part itself has these 2 sections. It has one of water and one of land. So when we think about this card, the upper part is actually our inner nature, and the lower part is representing the external world. We see that here pretty clearly. And another thing that's not really appreciated is that the pitchers of water, we tend to follow them outward and we see where they're going, but we actually should trace them back to their origin, to this unadorned person, to this luminous nature. So the streams can represent the senses and the mind. And notice that they are nourishing the world. They're creating the world. We are the ones interpreting the external world, our circumstances. And so one thing to think about with this card is that it's an invitation for us to strip away our impressions, our ideas, likes, dislikes, fears, anxieties, even our happinesses, and get back to that luminous nature. And that is why the card is about confidence, that when we strip away all of these ideas and emotions and feelings that we've overlaid onto reality, then we have confidence that we can make the right decision. So this is another way of saying this, is that this card is really promoting meditation, mindfulness. Now, we should understand mindfulness and meditation within this, or we should understand meditation and mindfulness as one part of virtue, meditation, and wisdom. We always need all 3 of these to be working. We might be emphasizing one, but for instance, virtue, we need virtue to stabilize us so that our mindfulness, so that we don't end up doing something horrible. We could be completely in the moment and do something very evil. Our virtue, our sense of virtue helps keep us from doing that. And our meditation, our mindfulness, helps us see clearly so that we can develop wisdom, ever deeper layers of wisdom. One last thing, at the top here we have these 7 stars, and They could, of course, be associated with the 7 days of the week, the 7 wandering stars, but I think we can understand them as the 7 chakras. And notice how they're placed in the upper part, meaning that they are within us. And these chakras all have to be developed. When the chakras are all developed, we'll have more confidence in knowing what we should do. And lastly, a word about inspiration. Again, we can think about inspiration as coming from the external world, but that is not where our inspiration really lies. It is within. It is, again, our self-luminous nature. And when we quiet our thoughts and when we let all our anxieties, likes and dislikes kind of settle, then we have access to this luminous nature, and that's where inspiration, or that's when inspiration will come. So I'll leave with one little story here from the Buddha in the Agañña Sutta of the Long Discourses of the Buddha, the Digha Nikaya. He tells of a race of gods who are self-luminous. They're born into this world when it's only water. And the water starts to have a crust covering it, which is edible and tasty. And these gods eat that tasty earth. And they also build up a crust. And this crust hides their luminosity, their self-luminous nature. And I will leave you to sort of contemplate that story there. And if you get a chance, leave in the comments below some of your thoughts about this card, some of your experiences with it. Thank you, and peace.